Right, I have with me Major Mohammed Ali Shah joining us for more inputs on this. Very good morning, Major Shah. Now, you know, the Taliban hiding the fact that its leader had arrived in Afghanistan and then later releasing a video when it got already leaked. So, what do you think the Taliban is trying to show the world?
Well, at the moment, you can't really predict, you can't really say what the Taliban is up to, what they are doing, what their statement they are issuing. Because people have had a very, very bad experience with them in the past. And obviously, nobody is trusting them at the moment, especially when their spokesperson gives out a statement that this time they will be fair to women and children, but restricting towards the Islamic law. Women will be allowed to work, women will be educated, but no one believes them. No one is actually trusting whether they will actually follow that or not. So, and especially like when we have Mullah brother, Abdul Ghani brother coming back to Afghanistan after 20 years. He was in Qatar because he was banished from Afghanistan in 2001 then. At that time, so now he is likely to step up as the president of Afghanistan in fact. Although the leader of Taliban is Haibatullah Asfundara, but he is Mr. Brother is the most prominent face of Afghanistan, of Taliban and the most prominent figure. Even before he was 20 in fact, before he turned 20, he had participated with the war against the Soviets. And he fought very bravely. He had helped Maulana Muhammad Omar to set up madrasas and schools around Kabul and nearby areas. So his contribution towards Taliban, or the founding members, in fact, I would call him that way, has been invaluable to Taliban. And let's hope and see what Taliban actually, whether they stick to their word or not. Because we are everybody is in anxiety right now. What's going to happen of people stuck up in Afghanistan? Let's see what happens now.
Right, Major Shah, you know, the Afghan Vice President Amrullah Saleh also had come out and said that he was in Afghanistan and he's the legitimate caretaker president after Ashraf Ghani fled the country as Taliban insurgents took over Kabul. Now, you know, how do we see this development where in one place Saleh is saying that he is the legitimate caretaker president and on the other hand Baradar coming in Kandahar?
Well, when the US government itself had surrendered, the military did not put up a fight, the president left the country, I mean, it was, and when the vice president issued a statement like that, you know, that brother is the caretaker of Afghanistan, which obviously means that they've conceded with it, they have surrendered to it, and Taliban government is going to come into play over there now. But let's wait and see exactly how Taliban actually, the next step of Taliban would be. Because they are giving out statements that nothing to worry, we have no revenge against anyone, and the people who were with the Afghan military would be protected by us, there'll be amnesty for them. But actually, let's wait and see whether they will do what they say. But unlike China, who is not to be trusted, Afghanistan also is trying to learn psychological warfare from China. Because China is experts at that. I can give you an example where Taliban tried to play psychological warfare. About a month earlier, not even a month earlier in fact, they issued a statement that we have captured over 85 to 90% of Afghanistan. But that was a sheer lie at that time. It was only psychological warfare. But they did it. That's a different thing. But that was a lie. That was a false statement. If that was the case, what was the president of Afghanistan doing in Kabul at that time then? What was Abdullah doing in Afghanistan then? In 1996, when they had hung the president of Afghanistan, Majibullah, on a lamppost. So that same fate would have meted out to the president over here. But he very smartly left the country. Fine. Very fine. But then let's wait and see when Afghan government, ex-government I would say, when they are giving out a statement like that they are the caretakers, let's wait and see what the caretakers actually do. The responsibility of the caretaker is to lead the country towards development. But where, let me tell you, a country which used to produce the best of automobiles, not very long, until 40 years back, today is not even capable of producing a pin. And secondly, where the money coming from for Taliban? That's again questionable. It's something to be discussed about and to question. So let's wait and see if Taliban actually what they do, they stick by their words or not.
Right, so as Taliban moves ahead with the formation of government and the Afghan government vice president also saying that he's a caretaker. Now, sir, do you think that India will have to recognize the Taliban government?
Oh, well, it's a very, very tricky situation because China and Pakistan have already given legitimacy to Taliban. They have recognized them. And my way is one has to establish a channel of communication, be it backdoor communication, where as far as recognizing the Taliban government, that is a very, very tricky situation because Taliban is backed by who? It's backed by Pakistan. Taliban was started by who? By US. Ultimately, it turned around and it bit US when Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda, when they, one more interesting thing is on 29 February 2020, Mr. Brother and the US spokesperson for reconciliation, Mr. Zalmay Khalilzad, they signed a pact in Doha, that is the Doha Pact, which was that if they behave themselves, I'm putting in very simple words, if Taliban behave themselves, then US will consider withdrawing its troops. At that time, the peace process had started then. And that time, Mr. Brother was on the forefront leading the delegation. He also led a delegation in July this year to China, 9-member delegation of Taliban to China. So definitely these people are giving legitimacy to Taliban, but let's wait and see what the Indian government will recognize them or not. But I really have my doubts, to be very, very honest. But let's wait and watch and see. But at the same time, a channel of communication is very, very important to actually beat backbone. But it is important to keep your ear on the ground and see what Taliban is actually going to be doing. Because it can be dangerous for us as well, because it will infect into Jammu Kashmir as well. It's contagious. And when they are backed by Pakistan, I'm sure they will ultimately trickle into J&K. And when that happens, of course, for us, they will remain a terrorist group. And Taliban has a stigma. They are not they're not vouching for power or money or coming to limelight. No. What they are actually looking for is legitimacy. They want to wipe out the old stigma they had, the black dot they had of being called a terrorist outfit. So Taliban is going to try very hard to come out clean this time. But let's wait and see. I have my doubts though. The Indian government can ever recognize Taliban because they are backed by who? By Pakistan.
For sure. That was, of course, Major Mohammed Ali Shah joining us on the broadcast. Thank you, sir, for your inputs.